Well, it's always a great day when you can talk, period, with Brent Sopel, let alone talking hockey. The 659-game NHL veteran, Saskatoon product, Stanley Cup champion. And Soaps, if I may, Canucks, Islanders, Kings, Blackhawks, Thrashers, Canadiens. Who's the one team that you identify with, that you follow the most with as we get to the trade deadline and the stretch drive? Is it Chicago?
Definitely not. They're on the bottom of my list. They don't deserve my time or attention. Obviously Vancouver, a little run that what they went on, but I'm still watching the Atlanta Thrashers. I hope they do well.
I.e. the Winnipeg Jets, I guess. Yeah. Hey, sorry to bring up Chicago, but you know what? I haven't had you on since the Canucks cleaned house, so let's talk about them a little bit and the resurgence under Gabby and Jim Rutherford. I don't know. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs, but how do you feel about the turnaround there in Vancouver?
Well, good for them. Obviously, they got some talented, guys on the ice, and Bruce Boudreau is a great coach. There's certain levels of coaches in this league. There's coaches that, make you better. There's certain coaches that get you to the playoffs, and there's other coaches that get you over the hill. And over the hill is winning that Stanley Cup. And Bruce Boudreau is, everywhere he's gone, Anaheim, Washington, he's done well. He's just not a coach that's going to win you a Stanley Cup. But, in Vancouver, obviously, they needed a fresh face. It was he takes a different approach to the game than what Grainer did and some of the other guys. But it's always nice to see a team turn it around. But I agree with you. I think it's too tall of a mountain to climb to get over to the top to make those playoffs.
Why do you think, Brent, that the Canucks waited so long? Why do teams overall wait so long to make a move like that? And to be clear, you were never pointing the finger at Travis Green. I believe you thought Jim Benning was the issue there in Vancouver. But what do you think took
Correct.
so long?
Again, you can't in the NHL. You don't want to make rash decisions. You make a rash decision, it could cost you your future, and that's what the game's got to be. I think the Vancouver Canucks, you're not playing for the now, you're playing for a year or 2, 3 down the road. Technically, really, I hope they don't make the playoffs right now. They make the playoffs right now. Who are they going to play the first round? A team that is not very good. No, they're they'll get bounced out in 4. Don't make a trade. Don't give up some prospects. So in the NHL, it's you really got to sit on some losing streaks to really find out who you are, what kind of team you are. But you can't make any rash decisions. And you're right. I wasn't pointing the finger at Greener. I think Jim Benning did do a very good job.
You mentioned Boudreau as a coach, just good enough, but not good enough to win a Stanley Cup. His track record shows that. You must get this a lot. Who is your favorite coach? Played a long time in the NHL. And Dub, too. You could talk about Mooner if you wanted. Who's your favorite all-time coach?
I don't know if I can nail it down to one. Lauren Malkin was big for me at 15 and 16 years old. Todd McCollum and Swift Current. Obviously now he's in LA. He should be up there for Coach of the Year this year for LA Kings. Guy named Jack McElharty. Broad Street Bullies. I had him in Syracuse my first couple of years. Then went into he was in Vancouver also. Everybody had for myself. I'm a guy that had to learn a lot of different tricks, a lot of different ways. So I don't know if I can nail one down, but obviously Joe Quenneville comes to mind. Obviously, he was the guy who got us to the forefront. He got us to the Stanley Cup. We won with him, and he was a guy that, for me, obviously, he was a coach's player. He didn't like me. He tried to send me down to the minors the year before. He didn't like me. So he got us over the hump, but he's definitely one that isn't my favorite. Mark Crawford probably would have to be my guy for me. We had a love-hate relationships. We butted heads, but he believed in me all my time in Vancouver. He put me out there, even though I'd screw up, and he put me right back out there. So Mark Crawford definitely is number one for me.
Interesting, and yet there's a lot of guys that hate him, right? It's just the way that it goes. But it's funny you say that because with Quenneville, I said a few years ago that I thought the best three coaches in the NHL were Quenneville, Babcock, and Dave Tippett, and now all three are out of the league. And it just reminds me about a conversation. Here's an old one for you, Soaps. I was sitting in Digger's Bar on 2nd Avenue in Prince Albert with Donnie Clark, and Bison had said to me, why would you want to be in the radio business? There's no stability in that business at all. And I'm like, I might ask you the same thing, Clarky. And he was like, good point. So last year, when Tampa Bay met Montreal in the Stanley Cup final, you were pulling for the Lightning. And I got him in my top 5 NHL teams, which we unveiled today. We do it weekly. Do you think the Lightning can pull it off 3 in a row?
No question. Look at the goaltending, Vasilevsky. Obviously, he's a good friend of mine. Him and we played together in Russia. So when you have the best goaltender in the world, and to me, it's not just by a leap. It's leaps and bounds. He's ahead of players, and you've got obviously Victor Hedman, by far number 1 D-man in the world. Stamkos, Kucherov, Braden Point. Can they go to 3-peat? Yes, I think they can, and I hope they do.
Anybody else? Are they your rooting interest? Is there anybody let's talk about the Florida Panthers. They made the big trade to get Sherratt, but they could line up against Tampa in the playoffs. Last year they did. How do you feel about the Panthers shot?
No, give the Panthers some credit. Obviously, there was a lot of turmoil earlier in the year of Joe Quenneville having to have to retire. They've got a great team. I think that would be the Stanley Cup final right there. And when they faced each other, you look what they did last year. They don't like each other, so I think that's good. And obviously, Colorado Avalanche. My hope is that they trade for Marc-Andre Fleury and really win it. That's what if I could have a crystal ball and I could predict anything and want anything, that's what it'd be. I'd love to have Fleury go to Colorado and beat Tampa in the final is fine with me.
Boy, would that be something. Absolutely. Hey, it's always fun talking hockey, but you're into so many other more worthwhile, noble things, if I may. What's going on in the world of Brent Sopel these days?
You know me, life all over the map, and the foundation, the Brent Sopel Foundation is my heart and soul, my everything. So still advocating for dyslexics and everybody in the drug and alcohol world trying to stay sober. I'm blessed to wake up today. There's 160,000 of us don't wake up every day. So happy to be awake and happy to be talking to you.
Absolutely. Always great to see you, chat with you, and converse with you. Soaps, thanks for this. Enjoy the hockey and keep in touch, my friend.
Yeah, anytime. Be good.
Yeah, you betcha. No choice these days. 659 NHL game veteran Brent Sopel checking in from Clearwater, Florida. Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching the RP Show on YouTube. And don't forget, we're live daily on YouTube from noon to 2 Eastern. If you like what you see, hit subscribe. And if you like the program, check around for other segments of The Rod Pedersen Show here on YouTube.